When King Charles suddenly vanished from public life, Britain froze. Was this a quiet abdication, or something far darker? Inside Buckingham Palace, confusion ruled the corridors. Advisors whispered, phones buzzed without pause, and the nation waited for answers that never came. Through that chaos, two figures emerged from the shadows, Prince William and Princess Catherine, their every gesture calm, deliberate, and rehearsed. To millions watching, they seemed to rise naturally to the moment. But to those who knew palace life, their precision looked almost planned. Crowds lined the gates as the couple moved from one public appearance to the next, vigils, speeches, brief smiles that hinted at control amid collapse. Their unity became the monarchy's new symbol, an image so perfect that journalists began to ask if this transition had been mapped out long before Charles's sudden disappearance. Behind the grand facade, aides scrambled to rewrite royal protocol. Files were sealed, phones confiscated, and every leak was treated like treason. Yet the couple at the center of it all stood untouched, calm, composed, untouchable. Catherine, especially, captivated the nation. Her poise and restraint turned her into the quiet heart of a shaken institution. To ordinary Britons, she represented continuity. But within the palace walls, another story spread, a whisper of a silent coup. Sources claimed that William's private office had drawn up contingency plans months earlier, preparing for a rapid transition in the event of a constitutional emergency. Meetings once dismissed as hypothetical now looked prophetic. Had the royal handover been carefully staged rather than sudden? International media leapt on the rumor. Headlines called it the smoothest succession in modern history. Analysts praised William and Catherine's grace, while skeptics warned that power obtained too easily always hides a price. Then, weeks after the king's disappearance, a single leak changed everything. A draft of Charles's official resignation statement appeared online, unsigned, encrypted, and unmistakably authentic. At first it was dismissed as yet another conspiracy, but legal experts confirmed the documents matched palace formats exactly. Buried deep in the draft was one deleted line, a clause that had never been seen by the public. It described something unheard of in royal law, a conditional succession. William's rise to the throne, it said, would proceed only under specific and extraordinary circumstances. The final public statement, the one the world saw, was clean and unconditional. But this hidden clause suggested there had been negotiation, perhaps even coercion, behind the scenes. The discovery exploded like a thunderclap across Britain. If the succession was conditional, then was William's coronation even valid? Who had ordered the clause removed, and why? Within palace circles, theories multiplied. Some blamed senior courtiers loyal to Queen Camilla, claiming they had erased the clause to protect their own influence. Others insisted the language had safeguarded Charles's legacy and was removed only to prevent confusion. Whatever the reason, one thing became undeniable: the statement the public received was not the one the king had originally signed. Only a single witness had seen the unedited version before Charles disappeared, Princess Anne. Known for her duty and silence, and suddenly became the keeper of the crown's darkest secret. As pressure mounted, and withdrew to her private estate. Advisors came and went at midnight, their cars slipping through the fog. They begged her to remain silent, warning that even a few words could destroy the monarchy's fragile balance. But silence, and new, was its own kind of betrayal. Days stretched into weeks. Cameras camped outside her gates, the press calling it the greatest royal suspense since the abdication crisis. Then, unexpectedly, Catherine arrived for a private visit. No one heard what was said, but those present swore they saw tears in Anne's eyes for the first time. Whatever passed between them seemed to seal Anne's decision. The next morning, a statement was announced. Every television channel, every live stream, cut to the same feed: Princess Anne standing beneath the royal crest, eyes wet but steady. She didn't read from notes. She spoke from memory, and from pain. Yes, she said, there was a clause. Yes, it was removed. And yes, it changes everything. Her words hit like lightning. And named the palace figures who had pressured Charles to alter his final address, trusted insiders who had twisted the language of succession behind closed doors. She explained that Charles's original intention had been to delay William's coronation until certain family conditions were met. But those protections were stripped away without his consent, transforming a pause into an abdication. What the world saw as order, and revealed, was deception. Crowds filled the streets overnight. For the first time in decades, Britons weren't cheering for a monarch or an heir, they were cheering for the sister who told the truth. Social media erupted with messages of support. Commentators called it the speech that shook the crown. Camilla vanished from view, issuing no response. Rumors spread of her quiet exile from the royal inner circle. William and Catherine appeared together days later, urging unity and calm, but the tone of the kingdom had changed forever. Anne's confession had exposed the monarchy's deepest fracture, a throne built not only on lineage, but on secrecy. The royal family now stood not as a flawless symbol, but as a collection of fallible humans, bound by blood, divided by power, and saved, perhaps, by one woman's courage to speak. And in that moment, as the nation watched in stunned silence, it became clear, the crown would never be the same again.